Story time, story time, story time again. Story time, story time, story time again.
Hi, and welcome to Once Upon a Time, the San Bruno Library's cable story time. I'm so glad you came to watch stories today. We have lots of books today about art, about painting and drawing, so I hope you'll enjoy listening to them with me. Let's sing our welcome song right now, okay? Here we go. We're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. Hi-ho the merry-o, we're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. Hi-ho the merry-o, we're glad you're here today. Thank you for joining us. Our first book today is called Art by Patrick McDonnell. Do you see the little boy? He has a paintbrush and he is going to do some art. This is art. And this is art. Art and his art. Can you tell them apart? Wow, look, he's all covered in paint. When art is in play, get out of art's way. He zigs, he zags, he really gets wired. There's no stopping art when art is inspired. He draws scribbles that squiggle, dots, red, yellow, and blue, splotches with blotches, and the curliest cue. Art stares at the paper and uses his noodle to conjure up a perfect doodle. And doodles need houses, trees, and cool cars. A dog, a moon, and a billion bright stars. Art draws and draws till he flops in a heap, and among his creations he falls fast asleep. Now let's be quiet to try something we've heard. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Wow, look at Art's picture. And when he awakes a little bit later, Art sees his art on the refrigerator. Held there by magnets, stars and a heart, put there by Mother, 'cause Mother loves art. The end. That is Art by Patrick McDonnell. Maybe you can do some art at home like Art and put it up on the refrigerator. Our next book is called The Art Lesson by Tommy DiPaola. Tommy knew he wanted to be an artist when he grew up. He drew pictures everywhere he went. It was his favorite thing to do. His friends had favorite things to do too. Jack collected all kinds of turtles, and Herbie made huge cities in his sandbox. Jeannie, Tommy's best friend, could do cartwheels and stand on her head. But Tommy drew and drew and drew. His twin cousins, who were already grown up, were in an art school learning to be real artists. They told him not to copy, but to practice, practice, practice. So he did. Tommy puts his pictures up on the walls of his half of the bedroom. His mom put them up all around the house, and his dad took them to the barber shop where he worked. Tom and Nana, Tommy's Irish grandfather and grandmother, had his pictures in their grocery store. And Nana Fall River, his Italian grandmother, put one in a special frame on the table next to the photograph of Aunt Chloe in her wedding dress. Once, Tommy took a flashlight and a pencil under the covers and drew pictures on his sheets. But when his mom changed the sheets on Monday and found them, she said, "No more drawing on the sheets, Tommy." His mom and dad were having a new house built, so Tommy drew pictures of what it would look like when it was finished. When the walls were up, one of the carpenters gave Tommy a piece of bright blue chalk. Tommy took the chalk and drew beautiful pictures all over the unfinished walls. But when the painters came, his dad said, "That's it, Tommy, no more drawing on the walls." Tommy couldn't wait to go to kindergarten. His brother Joe told him that there was a real art teacher who came to the school to give art lessons. "When do we have our art lessons?" Tommy asked the kindergarten teacher. "Oh, you won't have your art lessons until next year," said Miss Bird. "But we are going to paint pictures tomorrow." It wasn't much fun. The paint was awful and the paper got all wrinkly. Miss Bird made the paint by pouring different colored powders into different jars and mixing them with water. The paint didn't stick to the paper very well and it cracked. It was windy when Tommy carried his picture home and the paint blew right off the paper. "Well, at least you get more than one piece of paper in kindergarten," his brother Joe said. "When the art teacher comes, you only get one piece in my class." Tommy knew that the art teacher came to school every other Wednesday. He could tell she was an artist because she wore a blue smock over her dress and she always carried a big box of thick colored chalks. Once, Tommy and Jeannie looked at the drawings that were hung up in the hallway. They were done by the first graders. "Your pictures are much better than these," Jeannie told Tommy. "Next year, when we have real art lessons, you'll be the best one." Tommy could hardly wait. He practiced all summer. And then on his birthday, which was right after school began, his mom and dad gave him a box of 64 Crayola crayons. Regular boxes of crayons had red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, brown, and black. But this box had so many other colors: blue-violet, turquoise, red-orange, pink, and even gold, silver, and copper. "Class," said Miss Landers, the first grade teacher, "next month the art teacher will come to our room, so on Monday, instead of singing, we will practice using our crayons." On Monday, Tommy brought his 64 crayons to school, but Miss Landers was not pleased. "Everyone must use the same crayons," she said. "School crayons." School crayons only had the same old 8 colors. As Miss Landers passed them out to the class, she said, "These crayons are school property, so do not break them, peel off the paper, or wear down the points." "How am I supposed to practice being an artist with school crayons?" Tommy asked Jack and Herbie. "That's enough, Tommy," Mrs. Landers said, "and I want you to take those birthday crayons home with you and leave them there." And Joe was right. They only got one piece of paper. Finally, the day of the art lesson came. Tommy could hardly sleep that night. The next morning, he hid the box of 64 crayons under his sweater and went off to school. He was ready. The classroom door opened and in walked the art teacher. Miss Landers said, "Class, this is Mrs. Bowers, the art teacher. Patty, who is our paper monitor this week, will give out one piece of paper to each of you. And remember, don't ruin it because it is the only piece you'll get. Now pay attention to Mrs. Bowers." "Class," Mrs. Bowers began, "because Thanksgiving is not so far away, we will learn to draw a pilgrim man, a pilgrim woman, and a turkey. Watch carefully and copy me. Copy? Copy? Tommy knew that real artists didn't copy. This was terrible. This was supposed to be a real art lesson. He folded his arms and just sat there. Now, what's the matter, Miss Landers asked. Tommy looked past her and spoke right to Mrs. Bowers. I'm going to be an artist when I grow up, and my cousins told me that real artists don't copy. And besides, Miss Landers won't let me use my own 64 Crayola crayons. Well, well, Mrs. Bowers said, what are we going to do? She turned to Miss Landers and they whispered together. Miss Landers nodded. Now, Tommy, Mrs. Bowers said, it wouldn't be fair to let you do something different from the rest of the class. But I have an idea. If you draw the pilgrim man and woman and the turkey, and if there's any time left, I'll give you another piece of paper and you can do your own picture with your own crayons. Can you do that? I'll try, Tommy said with a big smile. And he did. There's his pilgrim woman, the turkey, and the pilgrim man. And he did. His picture of his own. It was of the art teacher. And he still does. And there's Tommy all grown up, still drawing all kinds of pictures. The end. That is the art lesson. Well, I hope you enjoyed our first 2 books. Please come back after the commercials and we'll read some more. Bye-bye.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
I thought you were going to the library to renew this DVD.
Don't need to. I can do it online.
But I thought you said it was overdue. Don't we have to pay a fee?
I can do that online too. I can reserve items and download ebooks and audiobooks. The kids can even get live homework help from tutor.com.
Well, how much does it cost?
Nothing. It's all free.
Pants, pants, pants. I am folding the pants. The pants are long. Do they go on my head? Do they? Do the pants go on my head? No. They go on.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
I'm Smith.
And I'm Joe.
And we're conducting an experiment to see if people like trash in their homes.
Yeah?
Hello, sir. Please step back.
What you... Wait, hold on a second. Whoa! What? Who are you guys?
Aha! Judging from your reaction, it looks like you don't like trash in your home.
No, of course not, but...
Sir, this is yours. We saw you dump it out of your car on the freeway.
Oh, see, I was
Is California your home, sir?
Obviously.
And you don't like trash in your home.
No, of course not.
Then why would you trash California?
Don't trash California.
Hi, and welcome back to Once Upon a Time, the San Bruno Library's Cable Story Time. Today we're reading all kinds of books about art. And so our next book is called Under the Table. When there's nothing to do, I crawl under the table. When I want to be by myself, I crawl under the table. I can be happy or I can be sad. Under the table is a good place to be. I bring my dolls and my blanket and books. I bring my pillow, my crayons, and sometimes a cookie. No one can fit under the table as well as I can. I'm the smallest in my family. I bring my box of buttons and spools. I bring my dominoes and blocks. There's hardly room for me. My dog peeks under and wants to join me, but he's too big. He pokes his furry brown head next to mine and licks me because he's happy that he found me. In winter it's cozy, and in summer it's cool. Sometimes I stretch a sheet over the table and make myself a tent. Then I need a flashlight so my dolls won't get scared. And I don't come out until Mama calls my name. One day I pick up my black crayon and draw a face on the bottom of the table. I write my name, Hannah. I draw a sun. And then I use all my crayons to draw a rainbow. I can lie on my back and look at my pictures. Every day I draw a few more until the bottom of the table is covered. Wow, look at all those. One day Mama and Daddy decide to move the table. They ask me to clean up all my stuff, my dolls, my blankets, my pillows, my crayons, my buttons and spools, my dominoes, and books. They turn the table on its side. Mama gasps and looks at Daddy. Daddy gasps and looks at me. I say, uh-oh, in a little voice that no one can hear. And right away I remember, you're not supposed to write on the walls. You're not supposed to write on your clothes. And you're not supposed to write on the furniture. Before Mama can say a word, I tell her, I'm sorry. I tell Daddy, I promise I'll never do it again. I promise and promise and promise. I start to cry. Then Mama and Daddy look at the bottom of the table again. We love your pictures, says Daddy. We would love to hang them up, says Mama. Should we hang up the table, asks Daddy. I laugh. That's silly. Paper would be easier, says Daddy. You could take it under the table with you, says Mama. A nice fat pad of white paper. I promise again to draw on the paper and never, ever, ever on the table. The next day, Daddy brings me a pad of paper, and I slide it under the table with my blanket, my pillow, my dolls, and my crayons. I lie on my tummy and draw a picture for Mama and a picture for Daddy. Under the table is a good place to draw, and a good place to sleep, and a good place to read. I can be happy or I can be sad. Under the table is a good place to be. The end. Well, she found a good solution to her problem, didn't she? She could just get some paper and draw under there and then put them around the house. That's a really good thing to do. Our next book about art is called Bear's Picture. There's the bear. A bear wanted to paint a picture. First, he made an orange squiggle, and then he had a look at it. I believe it wants something blue, said the bear, and so he painted some blue. Then the bear saw a rainbow and put that in too. Two fine, proper gentlemen out for a walk came upon the bear. Look here, said the first fine, proper gentleman, a bear painting a picture. Bears can't paint pictures, said the second fine, proper gentleman. Why not? Why can't a bear do anything he likes? Asked the bear. Because, said the first fine, proper gentleman. Because, said the second fine, proper gentleman. Bears aren't the sort of fellows who can do whatever they like, they both said. Besides, said the first fine, proper gentleman, that is a silly picture. Nobody can tell what it's supposed to be, said the second fine, proper gentleman. I can tell, said the bear, adding some green splotches to his painting. "Aw," said the first fine, proper gentleman. "Aw," said the second fine, proper gentleman. "Is it a butterfly? It looks a little like a butterfly." "No," said the bear, mixing just the right kind of yellow. "It is not a butterfly." "Aw," said the first fine, proper gentleman. "Aw," said the second fine, proper gentleman. "Is it a clown? It looks a little like a clown." "No," said the bear, putting in some purple parts. "It is not a clown." "Then what is it a picture of?" shouted the first and second fine, proper gentleman. "It is a honey tree," said the bear. "It is a cold stream in the forest. It is a hollow log filled with soft leaves for a bear to keep warm in all winter long. It is a field full of flowers." "It doesn't look like any one of those things to us," said the two fine, proper gentlemen. "It doesn't have to," said the bear. "It is my picture." The two fine, proper gentlemen went away, saying, "Bears are not the sort of fellows to paint pictures." But the bear looked at his picture and was happy, because he knew exactly what his picture was. And look how beautiful it is. The end. Bear's picture. It doesn't really matter what your picture looks like, as long as you know what it is and you like it. Sometimes we make mistakes when we try to do art, and that's what this book is about, a big mistake. I was painting a line when my brush leaked a blob. What a mistake! I started to sob. I was so mad, I shook through and through. So I splashed on more paint, some yellow, some blue. I studied the paper and I looked upside down. I blew on the paint and created a clown. I painted some heads, some arms, and then legs. Wow, look at those heads and arms and legs, and a face too. And made some new splats that looked like fried eggs. Do you see those splats? Look, yellow and yellow, right by that clown. What fun! What a blast! I would make this fun last. Look at what he's doing now. He's cutting out some paper to add to his painting with scissors. Creatures from circuses burst into sight. What are those? Lions? You're right. Oh, I see somebody hiding over here. Maybe that's a dog or a giraffe. Oh, and something to stand on. From dreams and from nighttime, from bright morning light. Wow, look at this circus picture. I see cats. It is a dog. And look at the clowns playing with the lions. When my two friends saw this art, they asked what it takes. So I told them my secret. Just make some mistakes. Wow, look at that beautiful circus picture that he did. So even if you have a mistake, you can make a beautiful painting. Our last book today is called Mouse Paint. 1, 2, 3 little mice. Once there were 3 white mice on a white piece of paper. The cat couldn't find them. One day, while the cat was asleep, the mice saw 3 jars of paint, one red, one yellow, one blue. They thought it was mouse paint. They climbed right in. Then one was red, one was yellow, and one was blue. They dripped puddles of paint onto the paper. The puddles looked like fun. The red mouse stepped into a yellow puddle and did a little dance. His red feet stirred the yellow puddle until... "Look," he cried, "red feet in a yellow puddle make orange." The yellow mouse hopped into a blue puddle. His feet mixed and stirred and mixed until... "Wow, look down," said the red mouse and the blue mouse. "Yellow feet in a blue puddle make green." Then the blue mouse jumped into a red puddle. He splashed and mixed and danced until... "Purple!" they all shouted. "Blue feet in a red puddle make purple." But the paint on their fur got sticky and stiff. So they washed themselves down to a nice, soft white and painted the paper instead. They painted 1 part red and 1 part yellow and 1 part blue. They mixed red and yellow to make an orange part, and yellow and blue to make a green part, and blue and red paint to make a purple part. But they left some white because of the cat. There he is. And they can hide on that white paper, right? The end. That is Mouse Paint by Ellen Stoll Walsh. So we read a lot of really good books today about art. We've read about how to make different colors when you mix paint. We read about what happens if you make a mistake. How can you still make a picture turn out really well? And how it's okay if you have a painting that nobody else knows what it is, but if you like it, that's great. Everybody is going to like looking at your art. I hope you come to the library to check out some books about art and doing art projects. Maybe you'll get some ideas for arts and crafts that you can do at home with your family. I hope to see you. Please come in and check out some books about art today. All right, it's time to say goodbye. We're going to sing our goodbye song. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Make us smile and wave goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to our friends. Bye-bye. Hope to see you at the library soon.
So sit me down and let the spell begin. I'll find myself in story time again. Story time, story